Inception is a science fiction thriller from Christopher Nolan. This guy has made some of the best movies of the last few decades. So it should be no surprise that Inception is very highly praised. It's a summer blockbuster heist movie that's smart, stylish, and astonishingly original. It's compelling, it's emotional, and it's creative. And it's complex. Now, normally, complex and summer blockbuster don't really go together. But Inception isn't a challenging movie. It's designed purely to be as exciting and as fantastical as it can possibly be. And it holds your hand and guides you step by step, making sure that you're understanding how everything comes together. This movie is constantly explaining itself to you, arguably to a fault. But Christopher Nolan isn't trying to agitate you. He's showing you this intricate concept that he's created, and he's trying to make it as epic and explosive and as philosophical as the idea can be without it losing any of its steam. Inception starts with a bang. The opening 15 minutes of the movie is a heist job, but the heist takes place in a dream within a dream. In what can basically be viewed as its own short film, this opening is instantly gripping. It's refreshingly original, and it's wonderful. Most of this movie is filled with exposition, so I'll try not to repeat myself too much, but this movie does a very good job of explaining the fantastical sci-fi rules to you. Everything is pure information, but instead of it being exhausting, it's actually very welcome because this movie has so many moving parts. It's completely necessary. But the constant intake of information is tolerable because it all unfolds with a ton of wit and creativity and style and excitement and explosions. This movie is extremely fun, and it's a hell of a lot more fun when you can follow what's going on. Now you might be thinking, well, hey now, Tyler, Inception really isn't that complicated. It's a dream within a dream within a dream. 5 minutes of sleep gives you an hour in the dream world, but if you're in a dream within a dream, that would actually be a whole week. And there's all that stuff about how the outside world affects the dream world, and they can use all that to synchronize kicks, which is how they wake themselves up in a dream world without killing themselves. Because if they kill themselves under this much sedation, they'll drop into limbo, which is this infinite void. Except, if someone you're sharing a dream with has been to limbo, then you'll get their limbo, kind of like a Minecraft server, but that's not too important right away. What is important is to not die, so they'll have to hide from the projections, little pieces of subconscious that occupy the dreamscape. These are like white blood cells. Don't let them notice you. They need to construct these dreams like mazes so that they can outrun the projections and cut through areas. You can also manifest stuff in the dream world, which, if they utilized that properly, this whole job would be a breeze. There's a guy that can shapeshift, there's a guy that uses paradoxes to trap projections, and this other guy, he's haunted by the ghost of his wife made manifest by his guilt of causing her to commit suicide the last time he pulled off Inception on his wife after 50 years of being trapped in limbo. And she wants him to kill himself so that they'll be together again in the real world. And he's losing his grasp on reality, and that's where these totems come in handy. So, all that stuff is happening while the movie's jumping between 3 different layers of dream, all moving at different speeds, each layer up affecting the physics and weather and everything else. Like it's raining because this guy has a full bladder. And I don't know. It's a lot of information to juggle, but here's the good news. You don't have to be smart to follow it. You just have to pay attention. And if you do, the movie should be very engaging. Just like something like The Matrix, it never slows down. Everything matters, and in that way, I think Inception has a near-perfect screenplay. I love the ideas that this movie explores. The concept of losing your ability to discern between what is reality and what is in your head. Or maybe simply choosing a different reality, or having both. I love how Cobb creates a prison of guilt for his wife. memories of regrets, moments in time that he wishes he could change. But this isn't his wife. His wife is dead. It's just his projection of her. One of the main antagonists of this movie is the protagonist's manifested regret. And then, at the end of everything, the main thing that most people talk about with Inception is Cobb dreaming. I know it's the big, mysterious cliffhanger at the end of the movie, and I'm gonna pull a total recall on you, which might just be my way of avoiding critical analysis, but I just don't think it matters. You can really pick apart everything with this movie, and you can consider the age of his children, and focus on his wedding ring, and other details like that to come up with a theory, but I feel like either possibility isn't all that satisfying, and neither of them make total sense. The way I see it, it doesn't matter if it's real or a dream, it's the reality that Cobb accepts. He doesn't care if the totem is still spinning, he walks away from it, and he walks away from his fear, and he embraces this reality. It's hauntingly beautiful. Every little thing about Inception is different from not only big budget blockbusters, but in general, there are very few movies that feel anything at all like Inception. I saw this movie in theaters back in 2010, and it just blew me away. Since then, I've seen countless movies. I've seen so many incredible things. Movies that I would consider to be masterpieces. But nothing has ever knocked me off my ass like Inception did. I love every single second of this movie. It has firmly stayed one of my all-time favorite movies ever since I first saw it. And as time goes by, I don't know if that'll ever change.